All right, deep breath. We can do this. This is my third take. Technology and time and the schedule have not been on my side today. But you know what? That goes completely in alignment with today's episode topic, which is not being too hard on yourself. We've all had those moments where we know exactly what we're supposed to do. We know what we need to do, yet somehow we don't quite manage to pull it off. You know those moments where we're trying to stay calm, trying to stay present, trying to keep our peace and keep our calm, but somebody or something, like the technology today, just keeps pushing your buttons and you reach your limit and the situation does not go as planned. I know it's happened to all of us. Let's talk about that. You cannot be present, peaceful, and mindful all the time. It is not possible. There are moments in life where it's perfectly justified to get angry or upset or even have a good cry. Sometimes you just need to let those emotions out. You need to feel those emotions. And let me tell you, that's actually really healthy for you. We are not robots. We are not programmed to brush everything off like it's not a big deal. We are human beings. We are meant to experience the full range of emotions. And here's where mindfulness comes in with that. It's not about trying to avoid these feelings or feel these feelings. It's about how you handle them. How do you navigate the moments before and after a certain situation? How do you treat yourself in the aftermath of a rough day? Or how do you think about yourself or talk to yourself after a tough situation? Because let's be honest, none of us are perfect. I certainly am not perfect, and my family likes to point this out sometimes. They call me out on it. They'll be like, hey, you posted a reel this morning that talked about being calm and present, and you were definitely not calm and present today. And luckily, I am the type of person who can laugh at myself and know that that's totally true. I'm not going to defend myself. I know that I lost my cool. I'm aware of it. But in reality, as a mindfulness teacher and a mindfulness and meditation leader, those moments of imperfection are often what give me ideas for my lessons or for social media posts or a podcast episode like we're talking about right now. It just so happens that today's episode was about not being too hard on yourself, and the day decided to give me that same vibe right back at me. Because I know that there are struggles that we all deal with. We are dealing with real life challenges constantly. And I know there's situations where we're like, you know what? I know I could have handled that better if I'd been in a different mindset, but that's just not what happened. And that's where the growth happens. It's in those moments of imperfection that I'm reminded of myself to keep working on myself and to keep working through this mindfulness journey. The point here is that I know the strategies. I've read books and books and books on these strategies. I've practiced these strategies for years. I know the mindfulness lessons. I know what I'm supposed to do. But that doesn't mean that I'm always going to be successful at it. And the same thing goes for you. The same thing goes for you. You can do all of the personal growth and all of the healing that is possible. And you'll still have days where you stumble. And there will still be days where you fall. That's just part of being human. The important thing is to be kind to yourself and to recognize that this is a journey and it's something that we're going to be doing our whole lives. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aware and giving yourself the grace and the understanding to keep going. And it's sometimes so hard to keep our emotions in check during a heated moment. Like I said, we are not meant to be robots. We can let AI take that part over and let us experience true human connections. There will be days when you feel like you've totally nailed it. You had an awesome day. You got everything done you needed to do. Or maybe you felt like you really were in tune with yourself and you were confident with yourself and the choices that you made. And then there will also be days when you feel like you totally, completely fell off the wagon and you sprained your ankle and rolled down the hill and somebody had to come rescue you. Both situations are perfectly normal and they happen to all of us. So this is going to be your mindful action for this week. I want you to work on not being so hard on yourself. But in order to do that, you need to recognize a few things within yourself. I want you to write down a few aspects of mindfulness that you may struggle with. Maybe it's non-judgment or letting go of perfectionism or dealing with patience. Maybe you are struggling with something taking much longer than you think it should take in order for it to happen. And through this practice, you need to be truthful with yourself. Instead of denying it or admitting defeat, just accept it. Be like, yeah, you know what? That is something that I need to work on, or that is something that I'm not great at and can maybe pay more attention to or be more aware of. And then we need to reflect on it. Again, it's not necessarily something you need to change. It's just something you need to be aware of and how you can bring more attention to that next time that perhaps the situation comes up, or next time that you start feeling these internal emotions that are similar. And in order to reflect on this, you need to ask yourself, how are you talking to yourself after something like that happens? Once you've had a moment to process it, I encourage you to take a deep breath, give yourself a break, and remember that it's okay to be exactly where you are on this journey. You are not meant to be perfect in it. There will be ups and downs. We're all just out here trying our best. Earlier today, I had a lot to do. I was stressed and I was overwhelmed. And I had an intention set for today to try and help me through that. The intention was to stop overthinking and being overwhelmed about all of the things that need to get done and really just focusing on a couple of things that need to get done that day. And that way I can feel a little bit more accomplished. And so my daughter wanted to have dinner with me. I knew I had a lot to do, but I sat down with her and I put all of my devices away and we had a beautiful conversation. We talked about the summer. We talked about what she's excited for about the new school year. And it was a beautiful connection. And I'm so glad that I took the time to do that. And I'm not going to be hard on myself for not getting things done, because instead I chose to spend a little time with my daughter. And these are the ways that we can really reflect on our experiences, to really accept, I didn't get that done, but instead I got this done. And it could be something surrounding self-care. Yeah, I didn't get all those things done today that I needed to get done, but I did focus on myself so that maybe I can show up a little bit better tomorrow. And, it's just given this take. So I really hope that this episode recorded this time. I really, really hope the technology worked for me, because it's been a tough day. And I know we will all come across these tough days. And I hope that with the practice of mindfulness, you are able to still sometimes end the day with a smile on your face and know that you tried your hardest. And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. So let's take a deep breath. And I know that you have a busy day as well. And I hope that this gave you a little bit of peace in knowing that life is a journey. And we're all just out here doing what we do and trying our hardest. So if you found this episode helpful, I hope you did. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with a friend who might need a little bit of a push or a little bit of a reminder that they need to be gentle with themselves too. So until next time, take care, be kind to yourself, and you're doing great. Sending you out with peace, love, and Om.